Hey, what's up guys, it's Jesse. This is gonna be a very late video, not late, but late at night, maybe at 11:30 or something. But, today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Mega Mewtwo deck, Mega Mewtwo and Espeon deck. I think it has gotten a lot better. I've won a couple of tournaments with it. There's Garchomp. You can kind of see him. But, alright. I'm just gonna get into the deck. Take it out. Alright. First of all, we have 3 damage change Mewtwo's. This is just because damage change is a very good move. It's basically like an Ice Path GX, but a little worse. And Shatter Shot is an okay move. So, and this is just obviously the main gateway to get to the Mega Mewtwo. So here, I want to see if this will work real quick. If I record on the deck box like this. There we go. Alright. Next, we have 3 copies of Mega Mewtwo Y. Psychic Infinity is an insane attack, except the only thing wrong with it is that it doesn't apply weakness and resist, or it doesn't apply weakness. It does apply resistance. But 30 damage with the 10+ for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. That can stack very quick. The amount of energy that you need to even complete this attack is 2, so that's already 70 damage just with a DCE. And if you can slap a DCE on there and just keep knocking out some basic Pokemon at the beginning of a match, then that is very good. Next up we have 3 Sun and Moon Energy Evolution Eevees. The ability on this Eevee is great. It allows you to get Espeon GX very quickly. Just a little Eevee. Then 2 copies of Espeon GX. It's a really good card. It kind of corresponds with Mewtwo in a way. Like if your Mewtwo gets knocked out and your opponent has a bunch of energies on it, then you can just hit it with the Psychic and most likely one-shot it. Psybeam is pretty good. I've won a couple rounds with Psybeam, just getting that off early in the match. With the Psychic energy that you use with Energy Evolution to get the Espeon, you can just instantly confuse them. And Divide is pretty good too, because if you want to damage a little basic Pokemon or something, I don't know. Pretty cool. Then there's just the final for the Pokemon, 1 copy of Hoopa EX, which I am so glad got a promo because it is literally just in standard format. This deck is standard, as you could probably tell by the title. But Scoundrel Ring is a great ability, especially with this deck. You can just grab 3 EXs in general. Then we have 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Professor Sycamore and Professor Juniper do the exact same thing, but I just had this lying around and it was just in my collection, so I threw it in there. This is a very basic card in every single deck. Just discard your hand and draw 7 cards. A really good way to get some flow in your deck, and a good way to get rid of cards that you don't need anymore. Like if you have, let's say, I don't know, maybe some Spirit Links, but you already have, you don't have enough Mewtwo's or whatever, I don't know. Complicated, but it's very useful. Next up, another very basic card in every single deck. We have 3 copies of N, the Zoroark dude. N is a very good card, seeing as how if your opponent uses Algorithm GX, let's say, and gets a bunch of cards, or Big Wheel or something, something where they have a lot of cards, specifically cards that they could pick out, you can just slap down an N and have them shuffle their hand into their deck and draw a maximum of 6 cards. Then that's a really good way to reset them, and maybe they've wasted their GX move. So it's a very good way to completely, like, shift the tides of the game into your favor. Or maybe you have a bad hand that you just want to get rid of. Then it could be good for that as well. Then, the new Lysander, but can be even better in some situations, we have Guzma. You switch both active Pokemon. Your choice, not your opponent's. This can be very good, and if for some reason you do not want to, like, switch your opponent's, or if you don't want to switch yours, then, oh, it's face tracking Guzma, that's pretty funny. Then, you can, there is an Alter the Moon, there are 2 Alter the Moons in this deck, so you can just switch back into whatever Pokemon that you had, if you want to keep it that way. Then, a really good card, just because, is Lily. If you get this card on your first turn, draw cards until you have 8 cards in your hand, so you can get a very good setup with Lily. It's kind of random chance, and that is why there's only 1, because if we put 4, that's a lot of wasted deck space, and it's still not guaranteed, so that's why there's only 1. Then, a pretty essential part of this deck, we have 2 copies of Skyla. This practically replaced Trainer's Mail. I mean, it's okay, but seeing as how it is a supporter, it's not the best, but it's still pretty good. Just search your deck for any trainer card. Like, that could be an Ultra Ball or something to grab. A good strategy with an Ultra Ball is to either grab an Eevee, if you would like that, or a Hoopa. Then you smack the Hoopa, and then you get 3 extra EXs. Then, another card is Fisherman. Don't worry, this card looks old, but it got reprinted. Well, this is an old card, but it got reprinted. Search your discard pile for 4 basic energies and put them into your hand. This is very good because let's say one of your Mega Mewtwo's gets knocked out. Mega Turbo was a better option, but that's not around anymore. So, just if one of your Mega Mewtwo's gets knocked out and you have invested way too much into that to have it stay knocked out, then, or not stay knocked out, because it's going to stay knocked out. If you have too much invested into it to get rid of that many energies, then you can just get them back. Then, an essential part to every single Mega deck, we have 3 copies of Mewtwo Spirit Link. Normally when you Mega Evolve, your turn instantly ends, but with this it does not. So that is great. Well, not necessarily great, because it's practically, like, required almost, but it's really good. Then we have 1 copy of Professor Kukui, just in case you want to get a little bit of extra damage done for the potential knockout, and you get to draw 2 cards, so I always like the saying that that card completely destroys Giovanni's scheme, because it does. Then the final of the supporters, from what I can see, I'm pretty sure, it's my deck, so I hope I would know, is Misty's Determination. It's kind of like a better Trainer's Mail, but not really in the same way, because you have to discard one of your cards, but then again, you can get any card from the top 8 cards of your deck, so it could be pretty good in some scenarios, like you really need something and then you somehow magically get it, I don't know. Pretty cool. Then, another very good part to any deck nowadays is Choice Band, dealing extra damage to GXs and EXs. Never a bad thing to pass up, so that's why that's there. Then, of course, another staple in every deck, 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for any Pokemon, yada yada yada. Get at some Hoopas and Eevees and all kinds of stuff, good stuff like that. Then, like I mentioned before, we have 2 copies of Alter the Moon, because this deck runs off of Psychic type energies, so, and this can potentially make every card in this deck's retreat cost free, which is astounding to have, so that's why it's there. Then we have 2 copies of Devolution Spray. The camera's about to stop recording, so I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to come right back. Alright, and we're back. Like I said, 2 copies of Devolution Spray. This is mainly because, if you want, you can de-evolve your Mega Mewtwo to get normal Mewtwo, and then you can just use a damage change, and if you have a decent amount of damage, like 100 or something, and they have none, then you can just completely clear yourself and deal some damage onto them. Then, a really nice part of the deck, 3 copies of Field Blower. So once you have those useless Spirit Links attached, once you Mega Evolve, you can just Field Blower them off and maybe replace it with a Choice Band just to deal that extra pizzazz. Then we have 2 copies of Energy Recycler, very good in this deck. It doesn't waste your supporter, but it just puts them back into your deck. But if you have like a Sycamore, then you are likely to draw some of them. And finally, for the item cards and trainer cards in general, we have Special Charge, because if one of your Mega Mewtwo's gets knocked out, there is a huge percent chance that you are going to have special energy on them, specifically double colorless energies. So just being able to snag them right back and put them into your deck is crucial, because you do not want more than 2 DCEs in your discard. Then, I've said then so many times in this video. Next, we have 4 copies of DCE. If you could get, like, I don't think you would want to do this just in case your Mewtwo does get knocked out, but for some reason, if you could get 4 DCEs, that would be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 250 damage. With a Choice Band, 280 damage. So DCEs stack damage very, very quickly, which is amazing. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Psychic Energies just to finish off the deck, because this is obviously a Psychic deck, so it runs off Psychic Energies. Alright, that is it for this new and updated Mega Mewtwo Espeon GX deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to this new channel. And, yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.